Yeah. Yeah, I say you start.
Oh, I get to start this one.
Oh, let's go.
It's time. Put on play pants.
Hey, guys. We are back with another Play Pants podcast. This is episode 101. That's Jason Ginty. My name is Rod Ryan. And we're a couple of days out from Halloween. Wait, back up. 101 podcasts. That's a shit ton. Is it a lot? It feels like a lot. I don't think, if you looked, I'd like to know the numbers, because we all know there's a million podcasts out there. And they start up and they tend to fizzle out. And, you know, maybe this one should have fizzled out. But how many podcasts, what percentage of podcasts of all of them made it to 100 episodes, do you think? I don't have the numbers, so I'm just wondering what you think. I'm curious.
You know what? I'd be willing to bet it's probably like, you know, you'd have to do percentage wise. I would say 20%, maybe 20%.
Less.
Really? Think less?
Oh, yeah. I think it's way less. I really do.
It's a good question.
Because there's so many. I mean, you got to take into consideration every stinking podcast, everyone, the people that did 5 and pieced out, the people that did 3 and pieced out.
Yeah. No,
If you look
people
at all
don't.
the podcasts. I think it's less than 10. I think it's around 10%. My guess. Again, I have no idea these numbers.
Believe me, every week I it's Wednesday afternoon. I'm like, man, we should probably peace out on this thing. Every Wednesday, I'm like, you know, I'm not going to be the guy to say it, and I don't think Rod's going to be the guy to say it. We're going to end up doing this until we're dead, because neither one of us are going to say, nah, I'm out. That's what's going to happen. We're going to be like 95 years old. He goes, keep going. Yes, keep going. But you're right, because a lot of people get a great idea and they're like, we're going to do this, but they don't realize the commitment and the time, and you have to keep delivering the goods. I know we don't do it every week, but most weeks we get it done. And it's a commitment. This is another aspect of a job. It really is. Like, but I'm committed. I haul ass from my other job to come here and get it done. You got other commitments. We make time for this. You have to treat it like a job.
Alex, I think, might be on 400 with Pass the Gravy.
But he does more than...
I mean, that's insane. He's been doing it for so long. I mean, he's been doing it since before he was on with me, and he's been on the morning show with me, I don't know, 6 years now, at least 7 years. So, yeah, he's been podcasting like a long, long time. And then he's obsessed with Big Brother. So he does Pass the Gravy Bro, where he talks about the show, and then he jumps on these Giants podcasts. I mean, he does probably out of 7 days, he probably does 4 or 5 podcasts a week on top of doing the morning show. I mean, he's a hustler.
That's awesome.
He's a hustler for sure. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, good God, I don't know how you could talk about the Giants. But yeah, he busts his ass on these things. So yeah, I just 101. Today I never even saw this morning. It's International Artist Day, and I'm sure it's because it's Pablo Picasso's birthday.
Right.
And the thing about Picasso, you know, I feel like, you know, I took art history, and you think Picasso is just one of these guys from a long time ago. He died in 1973. Picasso was making stuff. He was active in the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah.
It's just such a huge name, you know, because we look at something, oh, okay, it's a Picasso. You know, that's like the go-to. I mean, you know, there's Van Goghs and all these other these names that have been around a couple hundred years, but Picasso is, you know, not that old.
Fairly recent. I mean, when you think about the art going back to the 1500s, 1600s and stuff, yeah. No, it's spectacular. And you've obviously seen Picasso's up in person, right? You've seen them.
Yeah. And the other thing that's interesting is Salvador Dali is another one that is not that old. I mean, he was making art in the 60s and the 70s, kind of Andy Warhol. You know, I don't think of Andy Warhol as being, I mean, Andy Warhol is old, dead probably.
No, he's dead. Yeah.
But I don't think about him like I think about some of these other artists in history, you know, but his name is up there. It's in there. I just always assumed that Pablo Picasso was so much just, you know, 100 years ago, but it wasn't like that. Do you have a favorite artist?
Wow. You know what? not knowing shit about art, and I say it all the time.
I don't know shit about art.
But you look at something and you like it. Well, guess what? You like art. I mean, you need it. Without art, what's the point of living? That's what I always say. And art is also music. It's obviously art in the music world. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
But like visual art, I love like I don't love, but I like Picasso. I think it's cool as shit. I love Dali and his use of colors and all the drippy shit. And it's like, wow, acid. Okay, so that's what it's like. I don't need to take it, right? Very cool. You know, just from going to different art museums around the world, the Louvre and, you know, and the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam and all these different places. Again, don't know shit. I'm just a dumb American with my headphones on, learning about shit, looking at stuff going, oh. And when someone explains art to you when you're looking at it, then you get it. It's like when you've done a wine tasting or a beer tasting, and the sommelier, whatever they call that dude that shakes the shit around, it explains to you what you're drinking and goes, okay, now you'll taste the oak barrel. And then you'll taste the plum, and you'll taste, and you're like, the fuck's this guy talking about? But then as he's explaining it, you're like, oh, dude, right on, man. But without him explaining it to you, you don't get it. But same thing with art. When someone's explaining it to you, you're like, oh, fuck, no way.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it great.
One of the cooler things that happened to me, you know, people ask, you know, who was the coolest rock star you interviewed or you met? And, you know, we all have those, but, you know, we've gotten a chance to talk to other people too. And man, I had such a great experience with Peter Max.
Yeah.
Peter Max is known for his colors. You would have thought that maybe he would have done the Beatles stuff, like those Beatles cartoons, because it looked just like his stuff. He did that real 60s acid kind of just like the pop art. And Peter Max came on the show when I was in New Orleans, and I interviewed him way back when. He did the backdrop for the main stage at Woodstock 99.
That's right.
So that was all Peter Max. And because I have a painting of the main stage that Peter Max did that I bought at the gallery when he was there. He did all of this stuff. He's responsible for the rebuilding or the reconstruction of the Liberty
Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty. Thank you. When they had that thing all like, they had all of the scaffolding and everything. They redid the Statue of Liberty. He was responsible for that. Wow. He kind of like spearheaded that whole thing, and he's painted that several times. He's painted about 6-8 presidents. His stuff is still hanging up in the White House. So I did a radio interview with him. You'll know how long ago it is by how he got in contact with me. I did an interview with him, and you know, back then when we used to just interview anybody, he star 69'd me back. Okay, how long ago is that?
That's a while ago.
20 some years.
Yeah.
And he's like, the hotline's ringing. I go into a song and the hotline's ringing. And it's like, hey, Rod, he had a German accent. He has a German accent. He's still alive. He has dementia and he's in his 90s. And I guess he's not in a good way right now. But he star 69 me back and he said, Rod, I really love that interview. He said, thank you so much. Listen, is there any way I can get a copy of it? And I said, yeah, I can put it on a cassette for you. He's like, listen, I'm going to be at the gallery. That was one of the reasons I was talking to him, because he was in New Orleans, right, and he was at like the Hanson Gallery or something. He said, if you bring it by, I'll scribble a little something for you. I loved that interview so much. I would just, if you could bring that to me, I would love it. I'm like, Peter Max, of course I will.
Right.
When they were just to give you an idea of like how big Peter Max is, when they were doing Yellow Submarine, the Beatles, John Lennon called him and asked him to do it, and he wasn't able to do it, but that was the look and the style they wanted. If you look at that cartoon, that was in the style of Peter Max. Max couldn't do it. John Lennon wanted him to do it.
Jeez.
So that's how big this guy is. So I go down and I meet him and I give him the cassette, and he grabs like one of the little flyers there, and he's like, to Rod, draws a face on it. Love, Max. Thank you so much. And then I ended up buying a painting that night, and he flipped it over and he's drawn and he's writing all over it. Oh. Dude, it's amazing. It's amazing. I have 2 Peter Maxes. They're not originals. They're what's called mixed media. So it's like a poster and then he paints on top of it. And right. I mean, they're worth some money. But Peter Max is my favorite artist. Just for the interaction that I had with him, we were actually going to do something with that. He had access to the backdrop for Woodstock 99.
Damn.
And it was always looked upon as like being such a negative thing that he wanted to kind of cut it up and sell it. And he said, we could do something on your show and maybe we could, do so. I'm like, holy shit, Peter Max is giving me access to this. And we never were able to put it together, but
of course.
Go look up his stuff. It's just, again, I can't explain anything. I like a lot of colors. He paints the American flag. He paints the Statue of Liberty. He paints hearts. I don't know.
Some of his stuff is in that gallery down in Royal Street still.
Yeah.
I've got because when you did that, we were there that night, and I got to talk to him for a brief second, and I got a poster signed by him, and I got that here in the house somewhere. I don't even know where the hell it is. And he had a book. He's got a really cool coffee table book, I believe.
Yeah, we all got that signed that night.
Those signed and stuff. So yeah, no, he was cool as shit. And
he did a Jazz Fest poster, didn't he, back in the day?
Ooh, good question.
I think our friend Stager had one. I'm almost positive that he did a Jazz Fest poster back in the day. I'll need to go look that up.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. That is cool as shit. You know who's really good too locally is a guy named Terrence Osborne. He's done a Jazz Fest poster within the last 3 or 4 years. I have it. I got it. It's one of the first years I ever bought a Jazz Fest poster. And his shit is full of like really bright, vibrant colors.
He didn't do the one this year with the French Quarter, did he? Because I bought that one and I love it.
I don't remember, but it's bright colors, and he works a lot of New Orleans elements into it. We've got a couple of his things. Again, not the originals, because that shit's crazy expensive. But we got some of that mixed medium stuff, and he signs it and all this shit. But the colors are beautiful. I mean, absolutely spectacular, the color he works with. And he's got a gallery on Magazine Street. So we went in there one day, and we were just walking up and down Magazine Street, just, getting a coffee and wandering around. And I'm like, holy shit, he's got a gallery. Walk in there, and he's just fucking chilling. Like, he's chilling. It's his gallery, right? And he's not that old. He's a fairly young dude. Walk in, and we're looking at shit. He comes over, he goes, hey, I painted this one. This is my wife. I worked in. It's not exactly what she looks like, but this is my wife, and she inspired this. And then I painted, and it's like his wife's head. She's got like this cool dress, but all this New Orleans shit worked into the dress. And then like she's got this big hat, like headdress type thing that goes up, and it's all like it looks like it's a wrap, right? That goes real tall, but it's all these New Orleans houses stacked on each other. But
that's cool.
Woven, and it's absolutely stunning. And he's telling us all this shit. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. And then he had another one where there's like a picture of a bridge, and it's on Bayou St. John, which is a small like river right here out by City Park in New Orleans. And there's a brass band coming out, and there's a couple in like a kayak. And he starts telling us a story about that one. So I love that dude, because the same example of your Max story is I'm talking to the guy. He's telling me the inspiration for these paintings. Like,
got connected to it.
He goes, this is just a wedding party, and I got inspired, and I knew the guy in the boat and all this shit, and I painted this. I'm like, dude, that's it, huh? That's the thing. He goes, yeah, you just never know. I'm like, holy fuck.
The 25th New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, 1994, Peter Max.
Well, it was way before I was here. So,
not way.
Well, just a couple years before. Yeah.
Just a couple years before we got down there.
No shit.
And then do you have any Blue Dog? Any Blue Dog stuff in your house?
George Rodriguez, the artist. He's a Louisiana guy. He was born over in the Lafayette Cajun country, and stumbled into the Blue Dog thing. Wasn't something he set out to do. He actually paints some really cool shit, or painted.
He's no longer around.
And he's got the gallery right there on Royal Street, right behind Jackson Square. And I got none of that. I'm never a fan. I thought it was cool.
I was never into it until Hurricane Katrina. I bought one, and it was the one where the dog was underwater.
Yeah.
And so Rodrigue, right?
Yeah, George Rodriguez.
I'm saying it right. He paints this blue dog, and it's always got yellow eyes, and he's only done the eyes red twice. Once after 9/11, and Captain Cash has that one. Wow. And then I bought the one that he did with the flag, and it's underwater, and the dog's underwater, but just his head is above the water. And that one was kind of special. And you were probably a little too busy to buy that one at that time.
Yeah, I didn't have a
your life
roof,
was a little
you know.
disrupted around that time, but it came out shortly afterwards, and I believe it benefited. It was Hurricane Katrina,
Holy shit.
some kind of a benefit that he did. But yeah, I grew to like the Blue Dog. I never gravitated towards it until after I moved away, and then
Yeah.
I thought the 9/11 one was cool that he did. But something about the Hurricane Katrina one, it turned me, and I said, okay, I needed to get it, and I have it hanging right around the corner from where I'm doing the podcast right now, and I love it now, and now I love it, but I never bought any more.
Right.
I just thought he was an interesting artist. He's one of the more famous guys in Louisiana, from Louisiana.
And then one of my favorite artists in Louisiana actually is a neighbor now, Jeremy over at the Dirty Boys, right on Charter Street.
I love him.
Okay, so he did, and if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can see in the background behind me is this great portrait of Eddie Van Halen, right? And that's an old New Orleans window. And then Jeremy does somehow draws the stencil and puts the stencil on there, spray paints it and shit, and it's fucking amazing. And I know you got a couple of his pieces in your place.
Yeah, I started buying stuff from him years ago. So much that I commissioned him to. So he had never done anything for the Dungeon, which is the place that Jason and I went to when we first moved to New Orleans, and he had never done the Dungeon before. So I had commissioned him to do that. But yeah, no, he's awesome. I love his stuff. The Dirty Boys. That's kind of right around where you'll see, if you go to the French Quarter, you'll see Jason right now. He's in the Quarter. He's at 607 Dumaine Street. So right next door is the Dirty Boys, and you got to go check out their artwork. They're awesome.
So since it's just at this point, nobody listening, it's just me and you talking, dude. So we talked about fucking art for 20 minutes.
Yeah, art.
So what else you want to talk about, my man? How you been? Ain't nobody listening at this point.
Wonderful.
I didn't really think the art conversation would go longer than 35, 40 seconds.
International Artist Day, bro.
Hey, we're 101 episodes in. We're going to go a little more highbrow from now on, man. Next week, fucking science.
Yeah. One rock birthday I wanted to mention is Glenn Tipton, 76, Judas Priest guitarist. He's now battling Parkinson's.
Oh.
Apparently, he made an appearance at the big what was it, Power Trip, the big show in Indio, California.
Yeah,
I think he got up on stage and played a couple of tunes with Judas Priest because he's not in the band anymore.
Right. Oh.
So apparently, he's bravely fighting this thing. But yeah, he got up on stage and jammed.
That's awesome. Good for him, man. 'Cause that sucks.
So reviews were great. Everybody was saying that AC/DC sounded great. I mean, Metallica, they're actively touring right now. So for me, the big story from that show was AC/DC, and we still haven't heard anything yet as far as them going out on tour or a new album or whatever. I mean, we talk about how the Foo Fighters, they're such a tight-lipped camp.
Right.
AC/DC is similar. They just, they'll let you know when you need to know, but there's no way that they did all of this for one show. AC/DC has to tour next year. I'm thinking the smart thing to do would do something maybe in the Sphere.
Yeah.
And just do a residency, and AC/DC, let people come to you. The grind of being out there on the road and all of that, I don't know who wants to do that at that age. I think Brian Johnson might be 76 now.
Yeah, they're old as fuck. They're old, dude. They're old. Who wants to do that for 2 hours a night? You can't.
That's my guess. That's my guess for who's in the Sphere next. By the way, I just bought tickets. I'm going to U2.
I saw them go on sale today. They added a bunch more dates through February. And I didn't get a chance to go look at the cost on those, and I was like, they got to be expensive as shit.
It is expensive as shit, but I just feel like I need to go. The reviews of the Sphere in Vegas, everybody is just, there's nobody that just went, oh, you know what? There was a lot of hype and it was just okay. Even if you don't love U2, I think this is just an experience. And I do love U2. And I think they're playing Achtung Baby, and then they always play a bunch of other hits.
Yeah.
I need to see it. I need to see it. So I don't know specifics, and I'm not going to sit here and just study and do all this research. I had a chance to buy. I bought tickets. There's no deals for me. I had a chance to buy in front of the stage. There's a pit where you can stand. There's a floor there, which I don't need to be that close. I want to take in the whole sphere, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I want to be in a seat. I want to hear what the sound like, and I want to be in a seat. Okay, first of all, I had a chance to buy a ticket in the 100 level, which was pretty close to the stage. There's only there's 1, 2, 3, and 400 level. I had a chance to get in the 100 level, and it seemed sketch that they were as cheap as they were. I'm like, why is that the same price as the one in the 400 level? I opted for the 400 level, which is the last level. It's not that the place is huge, but I want to be a little further back, and I want to take in the whole damn thing.
Correct.
Obviously, 200 and 300 levels, those are the most expensive, when you're in the middle.
Yep.
So I'm in the middle, 400 level, got an aisle seat, and I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait.
I can't wait either, dude. That's so cool. If you bought us tickets, that's awesome, bro. That's
Yeah.
cool. I'm psyched. Your old buddy Jason. I haven't been in Vegas in a while, and I like you too. So this is good. We could actually,
Dude.
you know what? We could do it. We could write it off. We could do a podcast out there afterwards and talk about it. Do a special version.
I don't think I've been to Vegas in 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute for me too.
It's,
I love it out there for 3 days. I love it.
It's amazing what happens when you have a child.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that'll do it, man. That'll freaking do it.
You take the age of your child, and then you tack on another year.
Mhm.
And you start to realize, hey, that's the last time I did something. The age of your child plus 1. That's the last time I did something. It's the last time I rode a motorcycle. That's the last time I went there. That's the last time I did this.
Yeah, it's very
I'm not
bizarre.
complaining. I'm not
No.
complaining. I'm
No.
just saying it's amazing how many times you catch yourself saying that.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting to the point now where my son's 15. So now it's kind of like we're kind of inching up on the other side of it. You know what I mean? Like he's old enough to hang. So now like me and the wife have gone out to a few dinners by ourselves, Yeah. And we've done a few things. And I'm like, this is fucking weird. You know what I mean? It's just weird. Yeah. It's bizarre. It's cool. But, because he always likes to go with us. And we're like, cool, bro, come on, let's do it. But now he's like, nah, I want to stay home. I'm like, I don't want to know what you're doing when you're staying home. So cool. Yeah, we'll go out to dinner by ourselves. It is a weird thing, dude. So yeah. So what's the date on that YouTube? I gotta check my schedule here, man.
It's next week, dude. You're busy.
No, I can go. Wow, it's so nice.
Who plays the Sphere next? I heard Fish.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I hope it's AC/DC.
Some fishy, deadheady, Dead and Company. With that,
they don't want those dirty fuckers in that place. That's brand new. You don't want those dirty feet fuckers in there. That's gross. Yeah,
I do feel that Fish and the Dead and Company, that is an outdoor dirty feet kind of deal. I mean, it seems a little too high tech. I think U2 was brilliant and perfect to open this thing. I just hope it doesn't become some fucking house of EDM, and Steve Aoki is there every night.
That's not bad though, but yeah.
I mean, it's just that's why I want to get in there now, because I don't know what the future is, but I can't wait to see this thing. One more concert thing. Eagles announced that they're coming. They're going out the long goodbye, which I corrected myself when I said it this morning. I'm like, man, this is the longest goodbye ever. No, Kiss is the longest goodbye ever.
Longest, yeah.
Eagles, long goodbye, final tour, Steely Dan. They're coming in February. I've never seen the Eagles before. Do I need to see the Eagles?
Yeah, you gotta see the Eagles, man.
Do I need to see the Eagles?
What we've always said, they're legends. Is
it the Eagles anymore?
Not really that much.
Is it the Eagles? Is it
Glenn
more of
Fry's dead, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And the bass player's gone. So
yeah, you got your basic core.
I don't know. I don't know if I need to see the Eagles. I said on the air today, and people always like to challenge me on this. They're the biggest American rock band of all time.
Yeah, I mean,
200 million albums. Again, that's not the only metrics you use, but they're the best-selling rock band that America has put out there.
Right.
All the big ones aren't ours.
Right.
Fighting for that would be Aerosmith. I would say you'd have to mention the Beach Boys. And at this point, you got to talk about Metallica. Some guy emailed me and said, Rod, Metallica will overtake them. I said, no, they won't. People aren't buying albums anymore. If we're using the metrics of album sales, Metallica sold 125 million albums. Eagles have sold 200. These are just ballpark numbers.
Sure.
Metallica is not going to sell another 75 million albums. They're not going to catch up to the Eagles.
Mm-mm.
But then the guy emailed me back and he said, well, you always say that Nirvana is the biggest grunge band. And I said, well, let me go take a look. Nirvana sold 75 million albums, obviously not selling anymore.
Correct.
Pearl Jam has sold 95 million albums.
Yeah.
Are they the biggest grunge band?
I mean, if you look at it that much, and plus Pearl Jam's put out a lot more albums. I mean, Nirvana only had what, 4?
Correct. But
so, yeah.
But we always talk about Nirvana, you know, that's the ground floor. That's what kicked in the door. And we know that bands came before them, but we just always look at Nirvana is the one that busted this whole thing wide open. But you look at a band that, because I think his argument to me was, you know, Creedence Clearwater Revival. And if you look at what they put out in the time that they were together was unbelievable.
Right. A lot of great albums.
But they just didn't stick around long enough. And that was, you know, that was his argument where it's like, you at least got to mention them as being one of the biggest American rock bands of all time. And then it got me thinking about the Nirvana thing. Is Pearl Jam the biggest grunge band? Is Pearl Jam the biggest band from that era and that music?
If you look at the album sales, yeah, but this is where, and I hate to bring this phrase up, this is where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame gets weird, is because what's your criteria when you say something like the biggest?
I know.
If you go to album sales, well, that's just part of it. You know, yeah, Pearl Jam may have more album sales, but who's the godfather, the kingpins of the grunge movement? Well, that was Nirvana. They were the ones that got the first success, and it's like anything else. If you're first, guess what? You're the one that's going to be remembered. You know what I mean?
That's first, before somebody emails, the first huge success, okay?
Correct.
Alice in Chains had been signed. Soundgarden. These bands were all signed.
But they didn't kick the door in and they didn't make it happen. Without Nirvana, those bands are just kind of like, oh, yeah, cool. Soundgarden. I remember them. You know, it's not
Nirvana
the same.
blew the whole thing up. So, okay.
It's not the same.
So, do I need to see the Eagles?
Yeah, you do, because I don't give a shit about the Eagles. And I saw them at Jazz Fest a few years ago, and I was pleasantly surprised because the Eagles to me sounds like just background music. None of their songs get me excited. It's just nice, very nice, easy. I look at it as easy listening music. You see them live, and they're good. They're really fucking good. But when Joe Walsh takes over, strap in, daddy. It's going to be great. When Joe Walsh takes over, and again, not a Joe Walsh fan. It's different when he goes, all right, boys, my turn.
I've heard that about this version. I've heard that about this version of the Eagles, that like Don Henley is fine with just cashing the checks and not being the guy that's running the show. And I've heard that Joe Walsh is kind of running things.
And when he does his stuff, you're like, oh, this is cool as balls. Yeah, no, you got to see him. I mean, like we always say, go see the legends, man, because the clock is ticking. Don't miss it.
Yeah.
They're not going to be at their peak of their powers, of course, but it's worth it to go see it. I mean, I was lucky. I saw them at Jazz Fest. I would have never went and paid to see them, but they were there. And I'm like, well, this is one of the biggest bands in the world, so I will go see them. And I did. And I'm glad I did. I wouldn't pay the crazy money to go see them, though.
No, I got to get this. I got to work some kind of a deal with this one.
So, all right. So we're talking music. Let me hit you with a couple quick things. The brand new Green Day came out this week. To me, it sounds like Green Day, but I like it. You guys must be banging the shit out. It's called The American Dream Is Killing Me.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, I like it. It needs to be on the radio. It just needs to go into a power, meaning like a heavy rotation right away.
Boom.
You know what was interesting about taking the calls on it? We live in such a weird political climate right now that everybody is so, I don't know, on edge.
Right.
And I had to explain to the audience that punk rock has always been anti-establishment, going all the way back, and the Sex Pistols didn't invent it, but they were just an easy example. God Save the Queen, anarchy in the UK. That's what punk is.
It's
Punk
all
rock
about
is
that.
anti-establishment. So they're not doing anything new. They're old guys. They have made a ton of money by profiting off the American dream, but they're still trying to be punk. But the world that we live in and the way that we approach politics now, it turned a lot of people off, dude.
Really?
Yes.
What?
I mean, American Idiot. All that people are saying that they're tired of these guys. If you don't like it, leave. It really is get off my lawn. I got a ton of that. I couldn't believe it.
You don't
said,
like it,
"What?"
don't listen to it. That's the other answer.
Yeah.
That's the real answer. you
It
know?
didn't go over as well as I thought because it has a message to it. And the political climate out there is just nothing. It's like nothing we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Okay. There's
Yeah.
always been political tension. There's no doubt about that. That's always been happening since politics were invented.
Right.
But right now, it's just weird. It's just really weird. In the last 15 years, it's gotten really, really weird.
Yeah.
So
very, very brutal.
I was surprised at people's reaction to the song. The first 5 calls I took, boom, I love it. Sounds like Green Day. I liked it. I didn't love it. I'll tell you what I love is that fucking Sum 41 song.
Landmines.
I absolutely love it.
It's great. It's
I-
absolutely great.
I can't wait to hear it again on the radio.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And going back to other new music, Blink-182, it's like Alex's favorite band. He power ranked the album. And One More Time, he has it as number 5 or 6 on the album. He said there's 4 better songs on the album
There
than
are.
One More Time.
There totally are. There's
Um,
some great fucking. I mean, I'm a fair weather Blink fan. I like them. I don't really run around blaring their shit at the house. That new album is fucking sick. It's so great though. I listened to the whole. What's the last time I listened to a whole album? Over the weekend. I listened to the new Blink album. I love it. Now it's got their goofy shit in there where they're telling dick jokes and stuff, quick little songs here and there. But that's Blink. They got some great songs. And the way it puts them dude, when you listen to it, especially being clickety clack guy banging on the thumps, the drummer. Listen to the way it's produced and listen to the Travis Barker, who's fucking nuts, right? He produces the album, plus he's the drummer. Listen to that shit. He is fucking. I mean, he produced the shit out of this album too. It just sounds great. There are some banging tunes on that thing, man. Yeah, and I'm not even a Blink fan, and I fucking love it, which is crazy.
So, Mr. Program Director,
Right.
anything else dropping before the end of the year?
Yo, let me tell you, have you heard the new Struts song? I can't remember the name of it, of course, because I didn't prepare it, but it just came. It's not even, no one's really playing it yet. It just got released. Fuck. I wish I
These
would have.
guys can't fucking get
Can't
a
write a
break,
hit.
and they cannot get to the next level. They're so awesome. Every band and musician out there loves them. I love them.
think they're
I
great.
love their stuff. They're so great live. They just crush, and they're fucking playing in the middle of the day on these festivals, including ours. They absolutely crush it on stage. They've got hits. They've got big songs, but they've only had one big radio song. And
Yep.
God, they're so great live. I like the guys. They're hardworking. I don't know what needs to happen, why they're not being widely accepted.
They
What is
can't,
taking so long for us to accept the Struts as being the next level band?
they can't write a hit, dude. They can't get that perfect. They can't get that hit. Yeah, because they got everything going. They look great. They're killer live. The new song is called Pretty Vicious. Look it up.
Okay.
You're gonna hear, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but you're gonna get a very cool INXS vibe out of it. And I know what an INXS fan you are. Pretty Vicious
am.
is the name of the song. I want you to check it out, because as soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh fuck, Rod's gonna love this. Is it a hit? I don't know about that, but it's a cool song. That's cool. There's a song, and you may have brought this band up before, and I don't recall. We just put it in this week. The band's called Dirty Honey.
Dude, I love Dirty Honey.
Fucking
I love them. That's just a rock band. That's just a
Oh.
rock band.
dude. Check out the song. It's out now. Won't Take Me Alive is the name of the song.
I'm writing all this down.
Won't Take Me Alive from Dirty Honey. Listen to the guitar work in that song. Now, there's not a huge hook, So I don't think it's going to go real far.
I love them.
Holy balls, dude, listen to the guitars in that song. Holy shit, is it fucking, it's got swagger. You know, when I say swagger, I mean like Van Halen always had like a cool swagger to their songs. You know, there was an edge, but it wasn't like, it just felt like they were having fun. You could feel something in the way Eddie Van Halen played. These guys got that kind of cool swagger, that sort of fun yet badass guitar sound. Holy shit, that song is fucking crazy. Not going to be a hit. Awesome.
I really, really like that band. I like them.
Damn it, that's a cool bunch of fucking music right there. So yeah, we're heating up now. I think Pearl Jam will get something maybe at the end of the year, near the front end of the year. More Green Day, more Blink. You know, you're getting to that weird part of the year where there may be a surprise or two, but once you got 7 weeks left in the record world, and then once the holidays start, it just fucking shuts down. So you might get something in the next couple of weeks. I don't really know if there's anything major.
Okay.
So it might be after the first year before we really get anything.
I mean, it's been nice right now. I mean, they've been throwing us some bangers right now.
You know what? I actually said it on the air the other day. I'm like, hey man, I just played the brand new Blink-182. I'm playing some new Stain. Coming up, I got new Green Day. I'm like, what fucking year is it?
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. Now, does it resonate with a younger audience? Don't know. I don't really give a shit either because I fucking love it. I think it's great.
Jason's personal jukebox.
But you know what's great about it too, though, is we're fans of the music. We're fans of these bands. I want them to put out good music. You know, how many times have some of these older bands put out shit and you listen to it and you're like, oh, this is going to be fucking great. Awesome. This band is back. And then you listen to it, you're like, this is dog shit, man. These aren't that. This is good shit. And I'm excited to see these bands putting out good shit. You know what we're going to talk about?
Smashing Pumpkins coming out with anything new?
They just put out that
big. There's going to be a big tour.
Yeah, they put out that double album last year called Autumn, ATUM. They had a couple of really cool songs on that. They didn't really do real well, but we played a few of them. I liked them. I thought they were cool. But they were kind of a return to form there with the Pumpkins as well. So there's been a lot of cool shit out, and I'm sure we'll get more next year. We didn't even mention our top 5.
Yeah.
Dude, 101 in, you think we'd be better at this damn thing?
Our top 5 songs, either about fall, about falling, fall in the title. I mean, this one's kind of wide open.
Wide open. You had
this one
to
is,
make you
had to make it difficult. I made it easy.
No, you had to make this caveat because, man, I ran out of fucking the season of fall pretty quick. I'm like, oh shit, I got about, thank God you said, oh, or it could have the word fall. And I'm like, oh, okay, gotcha. I'm good now. Yeah, I can make this one work. I was like, I don't have 5 of these fucking songs.
Now, that's not to say that you guys didn't give us some great suggestions. Man, we had like one of our best interactions on our Facebook page. Yesterday, I think I put something up, or the day before, and I said, hey, listen, if you guys, anyone have a top 5 idea for this week's podcast? It says, I'm leaning songs with fall in the title, fall, falling, but I'm still kind of wide open. You know, a lot of Halloween stuff came in. I mean, Halloween songs, I guess you could, but, you know, it would just be Ozzy and Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson.
It's a graveyard smash.
Both of us are pussies. We don't watch Halloween movies, so that kind of was out.
Yeah.
Scott Hernandez said top 5 Scream Queens, but again, we don't watch those movies.
Not really. Some of them.
Rob Gaston said top 5 Friends episodes. That came out of nowhere.
I wouldn't have any idea.
Francis said Halloween movies.
I could do that one. I think we've done that, haven't we?
Chuck Taylor said top 5 songs that ask a question. It'd be kind of cool to take a look at to see if there's enough out there.
Okay,
Are there enough?
Yeah.
There's got to be a ton of songs that the title is a question.
Wood?
Or the song is Wood is a question. Sure.
Yeah, Wood from Alice in Chains. Put it on the list. There you go.
Let's see. Scary album covers.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that one.
Top 5 Martin Scorsese movies.
That one we got to do. That one we got to do. Yep.
Top 5 things you would do if you won the lottery. I mean, these were great, like, thought starters for me. Workout songs, British rock bands, dead celebrities you'd like to bring back. Top 5 songs with colors in the title.
That's good.
One word titles. Therese Campanelli, we used to work with.
Yeah.
Top 5 dead singers, dead band members, Grateful Dead songs. She said, kidding. Top 5 Halloween candy, costumes, bands that wear makeup. Yeah, there were some really good suggestions out there.
Dude, I love the fact that she knows this so well. She puts Grateful Dead. Just kidding.
Yeah, she knows that we're not going to do that. Thank you, Therese.
We have 2 songs.
So we're going to do the fall thing, huh?
I like it. I think this is cool, man. I think, you know how I'm like, oh, we're going to have 2 songs. We're going to have 2 of the same songs. I'm going to go with 1.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to go with 1.
I don't believe that for a second.
Really? I'm thinking 1, dude.
I think there's going to be at least 2. All right, let's do a quick commercial.
Maybe.
Our old standby. Pirates of the Quarter.
Yeah.
They've opened up a store in the French Quarter. We were talking about the Dirty Boys, some of our favorite like local New Orleans artists. They're right next door. So not only can you take a 5-star rated tour, now you can visit the Pirates of the Quarter store in the French Quarter, 607 Dumaine Street in the Quarter. There's a variety of shirts and beads and bandanas, and there's more stuff on order. So all your pirate gear, you can still get stuff online. Go to piratesofthequarter.com. You can book your tour, piratesofthequarter.com. The weather's starting to break here. I imagine you're getting the same.
Yeah.
So
nice.
We're starting to get like some real fall weather. So Halloween's a great time to be in New Orleans. From now until the end of the year, great time to be in New Orleans. So if you want to learn, take the tour, hear incredible pirate history as you're walking around the French Quarter of New Orleans, then you need to get after it. Get that souvenir. Visit the Pirates at 607 Dumaine Street in the Quarter, piratesofthequarter.com, at Pirates of the Quarter on all the socials. Pirates of the Quarter, Pirates of the Quarter, Pirates of the Quarter. If you say it 3 times, maybe they appear.
Yeah. No.
Oh, there's
always.
one right there.
Yeah, right. Sometimes. Yeah, dude. So
There's
this
one
fall
right there.
thing.
You still got a little of your liner on.
Yeah,
Like if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, you see Jason shows up like fresh from a tour, and you could tell he's like washing his face quickly to get on here with us. And every now and then there's just I see a little pirate there.
Little extra stank on me, man. So
yeah,
growing up in New York, outside of Buffalo, New York, man, fall meant something. You know, the leaves would change colors. Here in the South, the leaves don't do that. So up north, the leaves would change in the fall, and then you'd start to smell like farmers. Where I grew up, there was a bunch of fucking farmers around my house. They'd be burning the leaves. People would rake leaves in their yard, and they would burn the leaves. And, you know, that sounds crazy, but that gives off some of the best smell in the world. The smell of burning leaves takes me immediately back to being a kid in Western New York, because you smelled it all over the place in the fall. A little crisp in the air, a little chilly, you know, playing football out in the yard, playing some street hockey. And then I never really did this. I did it a few times growing up there, but I did it a few years ago when I went back to visit some friends. You're going to get some of the best goddamn apples in the world in Western New York.
Oh, yeah.
That is apple growing country up there, man. That is God's country for apples for some damn reason, right? It's the weather and everything.
And you see all the farmers on the side of the road, because my dad would work where Jason grew up, and it does get a little rural. And he would always bring home apple cider.
Whoa.
Totally different than apple juice. It's just way more like intense.
Yep.
Apple cider, man, it was just fucking like cocaine.
Yeah, it can be like that, actually. So when I went back a few years ago, we went to an old apple orchard down, way out in the middle of nowhere, basically. And you go in the fall. What's cool about this, and this is a little down home shit, is you go to these apple orchards, right? You go in, you pay a few bucks or whatever it is, you buy a ticket, and then you grab like a bushel basket or a giant bag, whatever you got. And then you jump, I swear to God, you jump on the back of a fucking tractor, like old school farmer tractor, pulling a trailer. And then next thing you know, you're being driven around this orchard. And then they go, all right, jump off here. These trees haven't been really that picked yet. Go pick some fresh apples off the fucking trees. So you're running around ripping apples off trees, humming the old rotten ones at each other. It's a blast. Put them in your bags, and you've got a bag of the greatest apples you've ever had in your life. You go in, you pay for them. And then, of course, they got a bar with apple cider, different flavors of apple cider, and then they got the hard shit. And dude, let me tell you, that hard shit will kick your ass. It will kick your ass. It is so fucking strong. You don't really taste it, but it'll wreck you. It'll wreck you good. So that's why anytime fall, we were talking about the seasons the other day. I've always liked fall because of that. Now in the South, it's like it goes from 110 degrees to 80 degrees. And then we get a couple of nights where it's 60, you know how it goes, but it's not the same. The one thing I do miss about the South is the fall doesn't happen. You don't get the leaves and all that feeling you get up north.
Yeah, because it's actually a season. It's not a week.
Yeah, there's no season here in the South.
It feels like it goes from 90 to all the leaves drop in 5 days.
Yeah, and then that's it. And then you get ready for summer. It's a different vibe.
Yeah, fall. I mean, we just kind of went. I took London, this place, a Dewberry Farm, and it's kind of like what you're talking about, pumpkin patch. We'll go back there probably before Christmas. You can go cut down a Christmas tree and do all of that, but it's just like an outdoor thing. And the fall, it's just being outside and not sweating. We had so many 100-degree temperature days that I cannot wait to just have the doors open in the house. I'm that weird guy that has my doors open in my house.
Yep.
Really see anyone else in my neighborhood. Now I have a gate in the front, so I can feel pretty comfortable about having the door open, but like the door is open. I don't care how many fucking bugs come flying in here. I need fresh air in my life, man.
Yeah.
And I open the back door and it goes all the way through. And I don't see anyone else doing that. I don't really have like windows that open. I don't know. Maybe I do. I open the door. I love having the door open.
Dude, do you have, and I don't know, maybe because my house doesn't have any. Do people still have screen doors on their houses? Or am I just living in a weird house? Because I don't have those.
No, I've not had a screen door since I lived down south.
Yeah, but like a screen door, you open your regular door and then you've got the screen door and then you can have your door open and all the fucking bugs don't come in. Like I don't have one of those.
Well, up north, it was not only called a screen door, it was called the storm door.
Correct. It would kind of protect, give you the first layer of protection. Right.
Yes.
Right. But a screen door. Yeah. I mean, like, why wouldn't we have them in the South? It makes more sense down here.
And all houses up north, they got screens on every window. You can open up every window in the house and there's screens.
And in the South, must be we just gave up and said, fuck it. We're going to run air conditioning 24/7, 365. I think that's what happened.
I don't think I have any screens in this house.
I do have some. And when they blow away, I kind of go, all right, there you go.
I don't think I have any screens in this house.
I have opened them up, but you know what? I haven't opened these windows in so long. They're hard to open now at this point. So yeah. Oh, screen doors.
I'm just French doors, open, boom, give me the air, let the bugs in. I don't care.
Right.
All right, Jason Ginty, songs about fall, songs that contain the word fall, talking about falling, anything. I'm wide open on this.
I got some good ones. I got some really, I went deep on this one, dude. You're going to be like, what? Get the fuck out of here with that one. Yeah, I went crazy on this one, dude.
Okay.
Good shit.
You want to go first? I can't wait.
Number 5.
Sounds like your list is awesome.
Well, I didn't say it's awesome. I just said I went deep on it. So number 5, this one, no way you got this one. No way.
Okay.
Neil Diamond, September Morn. Yeah.
I don't know any of the words, but
well, I'll tell you. Here's one of the great lines from this song. And this is why Neil Diamond is the man. Quote, "We danced until the night became a brand new day." What? Dude. So good. I mean, that's romance in a song right there. September Morn. See,
September Morn's a great song. It didn't make the cut. I wrote it down. It definitely was in my bubbling under. I love the Diamond.
The Diamond. Cool. And man, you watch that video, him doing it live. Oof, that is definitely dated stuff right there, but that's all right. It's the Diamond. He gets away with it. That was number 5. Number 4, I kind of went around and around on this one, but I was like, well, I kind of need it. So I went with it. Green Day and Wake Me Up When September Ends. Now it's a cliche at this point, October 1st, wake up the Green Day guy. But it's not about fall. It's about like his dad having a heart attack and dying. It was a miserable fucking month. And he's like, just let me get this month over with. So I look at it from that standpoint that he poured out his energies and his feelings into that song. So I kind of see it from that angle, even though we play the shit out of it.
And I feel like Green Day also, I mean, that song was out and, you know, Hurricane Katrina happened in August and September was a hell of a month, you know, that year, 2005.
Brutal.
And I also remember that song taking on another meaning, Wake Me Up When September Ends. It was just, you know, it was, for many people in New Orleans, it was the worst month of their life, you know?
Yeah.
And I felt like that song was playing and it took on a different meaning.
Wait, that's when it came. I came out in 2005.
I don't know when it came out. I'll have to look that up, but I know that it was out.
Okay, yeah. Wow, because that's crazy. Because I don't remember when it came out. Maybe that's why. Because I wasn't dealing with. I didn't give a shit about music or radio. I was worrying about the city and doing shit here. That's crazy. Okay, so that's number 4. Great song. Number 3. And for some reason, I always love this tune. I think it's because it's such great harmonies and stuff. The Mamas and the Papas, California Dreamin'.
It's a great.
All the leaves are brown. All the leaves
you know
are brown.
what? God damn, I love that lyric. I love the Mamas and the Papas. The sound,
So great.
the melding of all of those voices, man. It was fucking butter.
It was
I
great.
mean, it was just absolute, like acid and butter.
There's a and it was great. It's because remember, think about this. This is like mid 60s. I want to go with, and you think about the recording technology compared to today. It's not even close. So when you're doing this shit, you're doing it real. There's no edits really or anything like that. I think it's this song, California Dreamin', that they're near the end and somebody false starts when they come back after a little musical interlude. They false start and they leave it. They left it in.
Oh, I don't remember that.
But it sounds great. It's like one of the dudes goes and then you hear the false start, like it's right there in the front. It's not buried in the mix or anything. And then it comes back around. But the way his timing was, it worked and it sounds cool. It's like, oh, hey, what's that? And then they kick in. It's really neat. You have to listen to that song again. See?
That's like Kurt Cobain coming in early on Polly. He screwed up on that and they left it in there. If you go listen to Polly and he's like, Polly wanna crack.
They could have left it
came in
down
early and they left it. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that about the Mamas and the Papas. That's a great song.
Yeah. Oh,
That was totally off my radar, but yeah, I love that song.
So those are my seasonal. There's 3 of my seasonal ones. This one I went with just because it's a song I think people need to know, and it has the word fall in it. Number 2 from the Goo Goo Dolls. The song is called "Falling Down" from that's Superstar Car Wash, I believe. Yes, right? Falling down. No, so dumb. I suck.
I don't know.
do
It's
this
your
for a
list,
living.
jackass.
I don't know. Either way, it's good. Falling Down, great freaking song. Love that damn tune. The Goo Goo Dolls has nothing to do with seasons. It's got the word fall in it. So that you said that was okay. So I went with that for number 2 and number 1. This may be the one we both have, actually. Chris Cornell and the song called Seasons.
Oh, it's a great song.
And I figured it's from the single soundtrack. So that's why it's so great, It's such a great fucking song, man. Chris Cornell, Seasons. Now, I don't know if he necessarily talks about fall in it, but I figured, you know what? Our list, we can do what we want. I went with Chris Cornell doing Seasons because that song is underrated. Most people don't know about it, and everyone in the world should know about it because it is that freaking awesome. And there you go. Top 5 songs with fall in it or about fall. Yeah.
Really good list, dude.
Yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
Really good list. Superstar Car Wash, 1993, Falling Down.
That album, nobody knows it outside of Buffalo, New York. That fucking album's great. I love it.
Wake Me Up When September Ends, 2004. So that song definitely was around in 2005. It probably was a single at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that song taking on a much more, it just became bigger, and then, Green Day kind of had that when, they played when they reopened the Superdome, and it immediately, that's a special moment for the city of New Orleans. So Green Day is, kind of like it's a special band, I think, for the city.
Okay, well, let me fix the Mamas and Papas thing. It's not California Dreamin'. The song is called I Saw Her Again Last Night, right? I saw her again last night. I can't sing. So anyway, they come back. They're doing the song, and they come back.
I thought it was
end.
wonderful.
I thought it was pretty good myself, actually. they come back to the end, and like one of the dudes is like, I saw her, and then they all kick in, I saw her again, and you're like, oh, somebody fucked up, bro. You fucked up. You fucked up. And then
You know how much this tape cost? We're not doing this again.
yeah, but they kept it in, and it's like you hear the false start, and you're like, oh, yeah, they fucked up, and that's what's yeah. So I saw her again. So now you gotta go listen to 2 Mamas and Papas songs tonight, and you're gonna thank me for it later. You got a lot of homework to do, a lot of fucking songs to listen to. We've hit some good shit tonight. I cannot wait to hear your list.
All right. In at number 5, Falling to Pieces, Faith No More.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, baby.
Baby. That is one of my favorite songs. Not favorite Faith No More songs. Favorite songs.
Yep.
Fuck, dude.
And that's at number 5, Hooker.
We should have collaborated on these lists. This is great stuff. This might be our all times.
So Falling to Pieces, Faith No More.
That's good.
And then how could I not go right into Fall to Pieces, Velvet Revolver?
That's it. I quit. I suck. I really suck at this. Dude, Fall to Pieces. Go watch that fucking video where Duff is taking care of little scrawny ass Scott Weiland in that video. It's so awesome. The video, you want to see rock stars looking badass? Look up the video for Fall to Pieces. God damn, that song is so great.
I went from Falling to Pieces to Fall to Pieces in one move of my chessboard here.
And that move makes my 5 songs look like pieces of shit.
Wow,
fuck.
In at number 3.
That's great.
This band has not been mentioned ever on this podcast. I really do like them. I like that first album, Fall Down, Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Oh, wow. Number 3, huh?
Yeah, that's it in my number 3, man. I absolutely love that album, man. And I think it's Toad the Wet Sprocket's first album.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Walk on the Ocean and Tie Her Down. It's a great album. Fall Down, Toad the Wet Sprocket in at number 3. In at number 2, Can't Help Falling in Love, Elvis.
Oh, great song. Oof, you're killing this one, dude.
And then my number 1, and it's a little obvious, but Nobody's on the road. Nobody's on the beach. You can feel it in the air. Summer's out of reach. Boys of Summer is not about summer.
Right.
Boys of Summer is over and it's fall. Nobody on the beach. Feel it in the air. Summer's out of reach. Empty lake, empty streets. Sun goes down alone.
Whoa.
Boys of Summer is a masterpiece. I love that song. I love the remake of it, but the original, I think it's the best thing that Don Henley's ever done. I really do. I guess, he wrote Hotel California probably.
That one's pretty good too. I gotta be honest. That one's pretty good. Wow. That's a killer list. I'm surprised that you're number one. I thought that'd have been like juxtaposed with something else, but that's wow.
I really do think I think it's an incredible song. I think it takes you back to when you saw it on MTV. I think the sound of it really, there's something timeless about it, but it certainly sounds like it's from, I don't know what year it is when it came out. It's got to be 80s, huh?
Late 80s?
That's got to be 80s.
I'm just guessing here. I've guessed on everything so far tonight, and I've been wrong every time. So I'm just going to guess 86. October
29th, 1984.
Yep, that's what I said. That's right.
So right there in the mid 80s. Yeah, I really think that's just the construction of that song. I think everything about it is unbelievable. I really do. I think it's just an unbelievable song. I just think it's a better song. I mean, Fall to Pieces. I love those songs. I think Boys of Summer it's a better song.
No, that's fair.
It's just a great song.
We had zero.
I wrote down Green Day. We had no overlap. Is that the first time ever?
Yeah, I think that's probably the first time ever. Although both lists, totally killer lists. I mean, that gives you 10 songs right there that you're good. You're good for a while on that. That's good. I forgot Fall to Pieces from Velvet Revolver. God, I love that song. Like I played the shit out of that one.
What else you got bubbling under?
Not a whole lot, dude. I could not bring myself to put November Rain on another list.
Right. I wrote it down. I wrote it down. I said, just to cover our asses for somebody. I can't believe you guys didn't mention November Rain.
You know what? Because I've said it in the last, I don't know, that's been on 2 of my lists recently. I couldn't give it a third because I'm sick of it now.
Yeah.
I've burnt this song out on myself from putting it on somebody's list. Not a whole lot, dude. I mean, because I didn't want to go barreling down some crazy ass rabbit hole because it would have taken me forever. Because if you Google fall songs, holy shit, how many songs are about have the word fall in it? Oh my God, forget it. It's insane.
We were just talking about Korn has had a couple of anniversaries, 25 and 27 years for their first 2 albums. Falling Away From Me is one of my favorite Korn songs.
Great song. Holy shit. Awesome song.
Falling Away From Me is one of my absolute favorite. If you go into the lyrics of Moondance, Van Morrison, he's singing about the fall, and that is a banger. I fucking love that song.
Yeah, that's great.
I wrote down The Diamond, Fall on Me, REM. I wrote down.
Nice.
And that was it. I mean, Free Fallin' was obvious. Tom Petty. It's not even a top 10 Top Petty song for me.
Nah, it's cool, but good. No, good. You know, and you know this, Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Yeah.
There's this great album called Kiss My Ass. It was a tribute to Kiss. It came out years ago. And Toad the Wet Sprocket does, I believe it's rock and roll all night, party every day. And when you hear it, you don't know what it is at first because they do it very slow and very subtle. And the first time I heard it, I'm like, the fuck is this? Like, I didn't know what it was until I started listening to the lyrics. I'm like, hey, isn't that rock and roll all night, party every day? But they slowed it down and it's awesome. Like, it's fucking great. I love that version of that song. Totally unexpected. I didn't expect a band like that to be on a Kiss tribute album, let alone do like arguably their biggest song and slow it down and make it completely unique.
You've got to be careful when you're dealing with something that is so recognizable, and they completely reimagined that song. And it was such a bold choice for them to do what they did to it. It was awesome. I mean, it really was. It was awesome what they did to it. That's a really good album. Garth Brooks is on there.
Lenny Kravitz does some shit on there.
The best thing on there is the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. I think they do. The Mighty Mighty Boss Tones do Detroit Rock City. I don't know all the story about it, but if you remember that song, he's looking for the CD now.
Yeah.
If you remember the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, they played a phone message from Gene Simmons. It's like, hey, Dickie, it's Gene Simmons. Look, I know you wanted to do Detroit Rock City, but I believe Megadeth has already taken that song. So basically, any other song from our catalog that you'd like to do. And then they're like, fuck you, we're doing it. And they cut Gene off of his recorded message. And they're just like, Megadeth, fuck that. And they go right into Detroit Rock City. It's awesome. I don't know. I would love to run into Dickie Betts one day and say, bro, what was going on? Was that real or staged? For
so
that Kiss.
Cool.
So the album is called Kiss My Ass. And it's just the bands that were influenced and grew up loving Kiss. They all got a chance to do a Kiss song. And it was awesome when it came out. It was so great.
Really great versions too. And some of them are pretty true to form, but other ones are really interesting takes on shit, man. It's a good, we should do like tribute albums. Cause remember there was the, maybe there's only 2, I don't know. The Encomium tribute to Led Zeppelin years ago. That's the only 2 I know. So I guess I'm out. Stone Temple Pilots did Dancing Days on that one. I think Sheryl Crow did a song. That's a good album too. Anyway,
that is a good one.
I'm wandering all over the weeds here. The Rod Ryan Show Cares store is open for another week, but that's it. What are you waiting for? Get in and shop. Donate today. All money goes to the Rod Ryan Show Cares Foundation Boobs Rock Fund to support breast cancer research at MD Anderson in Houston. Everything you got to know. It's right there on the world famous Rod Ryan Show page at thebuzz.com. Get those boobs rock shirts now. Do not wait. Help a brother out. Raise some funds. All right. Do this. Get it done. It's simple. Just go do it. That's all you got to do.
It is simple.
Final thoughts, Rod?
Um, the people that make doggy pick up your poop bags, quality control's got to be there, man. I went down to go scoop up one of Vu's turds, and there was a big hole in the bag, and I just immediately felt the warmth on my exposed finger, and I'm at the furthest point from my house on our walk, and you just got shit on your hand. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about it. You're walking back and you're passing people and you have shit on your hand.
Hey, man, what's up? Shaking hands with everybody you meet.
It just happened to me today. It's like, come on, man. You can't have a hole in these things.
That's
and I'm
the
thinking
job.
that first one, sometimes that first one gets a hole in it because they come wrapped up and they're taped, and sometimes the tape rips it. And I'm always very careful on that one. No, this one just had a hole in it. It was a defective bag. I went in there and I immediately felt Vu's turd.
Yeah. But really, like when you pick it up with a bag, you're still feeling the heat off that thing, and you're mushing it around when you pick it up.
Dude, you're feeling it. It feels different. You're feeling it. But I'll tell you,
it's gross.
After having a kid, it's not that bad. I mean, the horrific things that happen when you have a child, getting shit on and pissed on and puked on and picking up shit and just shit dripping and just
brutal.
The changing of the bed and everything, it prepares you for life. It really does. So I imagine if I had never gone through the kid experience, that would have been a little bit more horrific. But, I was scrubbing the shit, man. Nails.
Yeah. You got to get that clean. That's gross.
Bleach. Straight bleach.
There's nothing like, like you go to a park or something, and you see, like, and we've all done this. You see a chick walking a dog, and you're like, wow, check out that chick and that dog. She's hot, right? Mm-hmm. But then the dog just rips out a Duke, and she bends over, she's picking it up. You're like, yeah, that sucked the cool out of that scene. That was way cooler till the dog shit. You're like, wow, she went from hot to not pretty quick. Not her fault.
It's all a part of life.
It is.
All a part of life.
So, Ron,
what do you got for a final thought?
I think I'm done with Uber drivers. I think I'm done with them.
No. Well, I don't know. You don't drink anymore, so.
Well, no. And I'm not saying from me using them, I will continue to use them forever. I love that side of it.
Oh, okay.
I looked it up. There's no training for an Uber driver. You know that, right? There's no training. There's no like, hey, you suck at driving. Doesn't matter. You can still be an Uber driver. Because I've learned, and I work in the central business district. So I'm in the city here in New Orleans a lot. Uber drivers will just pull up, stop traffic, and let dopes out of the car, fuck up traffic. Meanwhile, to the side of the road,
of course, there's no training.
To park.
Right.
Places to park. You could pull over. And not fuck up everybody else's day. Uber drivers don't understand that concept. They just don't quite get it. And I'm like, so I looked it up. If you want to be a cab driver, you got to get a license, and you got some shit you got to go through. You got some hoops you got to jump through. No, I'm not saying cab drivers are good at driving either, because they suck too. But Uber drivers, man, move your shit over when you're dropping off. Move your shit over. You ain't got to stop in the middle. I'm telling you, don't.
I give everybody 5 stars.
Yeah.
I'm not confrontational. I was going to say, would you have done this? I got a friend of mine that smokes weed, and he's completely nose blind to it. I go, bro, you don't fucking even know. I could smell you. I could smell your car going by with your windows down. I can smell you when you walk in my house. I go, right. You don't, I know that you just like ripped a joint or whatever you do. I go, you don't smell that anymore. I got into an Uber and it fucking reeked. Weed doesn't smell like it was weed years ago. It's different, super strong. It's weird. It's skunky. I don't enjoy the smell of it. Like years going to Jazz Fest, and like, I've never been a weed smoker, but every now and then I was like, hey man, that smells pretty good.
Yeah, get into some of that.
It never catches me like that anymore, where it's like, hey, that doesn't smell so bad. You know,
I could do this.
I really find it to be pungent and offensive smelling.
Right.
And you smoke it, that's fine. But if you're an Uber driver and you get in the car and it reeks of that new weed, the new weed, the one that you can smell on everybody, should I have to smell that shit all the way? I mean, would you have given him a less star, and would you have made a note, car smelled like weed?
I guess it would depend on my mood because I don't want to fuck up anybody's day. But are you supposed to be smoking weed and driving? Doesn't it impair you in some sort of way? I'm just
I don't
throwing
know,
that
dude.
out there.
I don't know.
Like that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like it does make you a little bit different in the brain.
Acting, there wasn't any, his driving was fine.
Yeah.
He didn't seem like, he was high or inebriated or anything like that. It's just the car smelled of weed. I mean, it's just it. And it was pretty strong. Maybe the person that he picked up before me was smoking weed and they got in the car and it still smelled in there. So maybe it wasn't his fault. Of course, 5 stars. I took the high road, but it was making me a little nauseous because not everybody likes the car at the temperature that I like. And again, I sit there in fucking misery. I should have said, bro, turn the air on or something. It was a little warmer than I would have liked and it smelled of weed. Still gave the guy 5 stars.
Totally. Yeah, unless they kill me, I'm giving them 5 stars. But I think of it this way.
I'm not confrontational.
I think of it this way. For me in that situation, I'd be like, whatever. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. But if I put my sweet mother-in-law in the car, okay, she's Ubering now. We got them Ubering because we don't want the olds to drive at night. It freaks us all out. So do I want my mother-in-law climbing in an Uber that stinks like weed? You think she's going to be real excited about that shit? She's not going to be happy at all. So I look at it from that standpoint. Dude, be better at this job. Your job is to drive people around. Don't smoke weed. That's the way I look at it. If that's your job you've chosen, let's just do it. And don't stay in the middle of the fucking street either. Pull over. I'll tell if an Uber driver that I'm in wants to stop in the middle of the street, I'm like, hey man, you could just pull over. Come on, help the world.
Or are you not going to say anything? Or you're not going to say anything and just get out where he lets you out, or she lets
fuck it, get out. And who gives a shit? But yeah, Uber drivers don't get any training. That's a mistake. It's just a mistake.
I didn't think for a second that there was any kind of a fucking course that they got to pass.
No, there's not.
I'm sure there's a quick background check and everything's done online and boom, here's your license.
Maybe there is. I don't know. But it is convenient as shit when you need one. I tell you what, I've used them many times and I will continue to use them. But I just thought, man, get out of the damn road. Come on now, help us out. Help a guy out. You can get this podcast anywhere, Rod. It's on every damn platform you can think of to listen to it. We also got it on our YouTube channel. Look up Play Pants Pod. You can see our dipshit asses yapping away for 90 minutes on this sucker. Social media at Play Pants Pod. Throw down your top 5 favorite fall songs. Keep those suggestions coming because we ain't going to come up with any. So we're going to go and rip off a few of those suggestions from that list you mentioned on our Facebook page. And, it's good to see people coming from Houston, taking the tour. We appreciate that. I had some people over the last week or so came down, Play Pants Podcast, man. Fuck yeah. And have a blast, man. Everyone from Houston that's been taking the tour, been super cool, and just awesome, having a blast. So, yeah, thank you to everyone who's been joining us over on the Pirate Tour in New Orleans.
Awesome. All right, thanks, guys.
Let's go. It's time. Put on Play Pants.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts. See us on our YouTube channel and follow our social media pages at Play Pants Pod.